What a catch!
Thanks! That was my first too! Alright guys, you ready?
Clear sky. Good morning, everyone. It is nice and sunny. Ooh. Oh, the deck's kind of frozen. This is my temporary tripod. It's currently 8:15 and we're getting ready to make breakfast and also make sandwiches for today. Today is quite special because we're heading back to Mount Cook, like I mentioned in the last video. We're doing an activity called Glacier Explorers. We'll be able to see the terminal phase, which is the end of the glacial block itself, where it dissolves and creates that glacial lake. Super close. We might be able to touch it as well, I think, which will be very cool. If we have the energy, I want to do the Hooker Valley track again, but since it takes about 3 hours and we need to head back to Queenstown, that might not be the best decision. I would love to do the Hooker Valley track again if possible. And I just realized the mountains on the other side of our Airbnb, there's more snow on top. It's pretty crazy. Sandwich, forest, real chocolate, drink, caramel. A breakfast on the road, mango and coconut yogurt with bananas. Ahoy Valley, we love you. Mount Cook, everyone. 와, 너무 멋있다. That is insane! Thank you. Oh, wow! Thanks, brother.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
When did they find it?
Perfect trip. Oh. Thank you.
Thank you, Mount Cook.
와, 최고의.
Wow.
If you look to your left, you will see Mount Sefton. So Mount Sefton is New Zealand's fourth largest peak. It is 3,151 metres tall. It is New Zealand's highest peak. It is 3,724 metres tall. This actually used to be taller, but back in 1991, an avalanche sliced off 10 metres off the peak, sending down 40 million cubic tonnes of rock and ice, crashing down. Below the Hooker Bridge, you will see the Hooker River. So this river is fed by glacial meltwater, so you may be surprised by the colour of the water. It's this murky, grey colour. It's not very pretty to look at. And that is because of a thing called glacial rock flour. Now, this fine powder is created as the glacier grinds down the valley, pulverizing the soft and porous rock that you will find here in the park. As this river pours into Lake Pukaki, it mixes with a whole lot of fresh water, and this allows the heavier particles to sink and separate from the lighter ones. And then the sunlight refracts off these lighter particles and reflects back that amazing blue color that you can see in the lake.
Alrighty guys, enjoy!
That 25-minute hike.
Alright, you there, I'm gonna go back.
Wow. Wow.
Just make sure all of your bags and backpacks stay in the box, please. My name is Kim. It's nice and easy to remember. I'm also going to be joined by Jarrett. He's in training, so bear with him. Firstly, though, I'm just going to come around and double check all of our life jackets. Alrighty, I'm going to start with my first two. Come on over. Going all the way overboard.
1414 and the time is 11:30. Total number on water is 229. One skipper or two on the boat.
Beautiful day. It rained for about the last, 5 weeks. Before we get underway, just a little bit of safety that we need to run through. So just full attention for 1 minute. Yes, we did. See, that was fun while you're sitting down. But if you are standing, you're going in the drink. Ready? Ready, guys? Everyone ready?
Yeah.
As we go around everywhere we stop, I'm going to tell you some information. But if you have questions or if it doesn't make sense, please let me know and I will try and rectify that for you. The main event of our range is Mount Cove. So looking up on our left, that one that looks kind of like the letter M. So Aoraki, from here, you can only see 2 out of the 3 peaks that make up the mountain. So the main event, what we're here to see today, is the Tasman Glacier. And looking down the end of the lake, you can see that kind of wall stretching from side to side. And that is what we call the terminal face. So basically that's the very end of the ice. From that point, all the way to the back of the valley, about where the snow line is only half of our glacier, roughly 11 kilometers. Now, it doesn't look like ice. People say it's dirty, it's ugly. Once we get closer, it'll look a bit more like a glacier. But as that glacier has been moving through the valley, it's plucking rock off the side of the mountain and it gets frozen and trapped inside. Depth-wise, this is our shallow end. And when I say shallow, I'm still talking about 50 odd meters deep.
Hey.
Beneath us right here, about 100. Up that end, 270 meters to the bottom of the lake.
너무 재밌다.
Now, for every single piece of ice you see, no matter how big it is or how small it may look, these little pieces on the water, above the surface is only 10% of the iceberg. 9 times that amount of ice is hidden below the surface.
Whoa.
It actually broke off about February, and it hasn't changed too much since then. It hasn't rolled or turned, but it's definitely lifted and broken and tilted. However, this is the one that broke only 20-30 minutes ago, and we can see this big chunk in the middle that used to be attached to the iceberg. A bit cold. Alrighty. Let me just
What a catch.
Thanks.
Wow.
Whoop, hello.
Oh.
Wow.
Alrighty, there we go. So this is basically just a little iceberg. Now, like I was saying, it's made up of millions of small, well maybe not millions in this case, but lots of little smaller pieces that we call ice crystals. I'm going to take over to this beautiful view, guys, in a second. But have a look inside and you'll see little bits of air, little pockets. So when the sun hits these air pockets, it starts to heat up. That air will expand and it pushes the ice apart and starts to crystallize our icebergs. Is the whole thing? Oh yeah, pop it in your life jacket. Now the reason it's blue is because of the density. So it hasn't seen the sun, it hasn't gone through that crystallization. So the only light wave that's able to get into the ice and out again is the blue light wave. It's the shortest, most active one that we can see. Now some of them are quite dirty in colour, and that is just the rock and gravel that's trapped inside. And to give you an idea, these little bits you can see perched on the edge and the overhang itself, 1 cubic meter of ice weighs just under a ton. So that's a good. That massive U-shaped dip through the entire center of the iceberg. So this only happened a couple of days ago. I think about a week ago. That section on the right was above the surface, that was the 10%. Everything down to the left was beneath the surface of the water. So it's tilted this way, and Mount Cook behind it, that's a stunning photo. And you can see the difference as well in the color of the ice. So it's not blue anymore because it's been sitting in the sun, but notice how much rockier the right side is. So that's been melting away, the rock and gravel inside is exposed more than on the left, which has only had event. This is the Tasman Glacier. Hopefully now it looks a little bit more like a glacier. As you can see though, we're not going very close. We stay about 500-600 meters away, and it's because this is where our icebergs come from. I'll get into that in just a second, but to help you make sense of just how big this glacier is, remember it's the biggest in New Zealand. So side to side, that entire wall is ice, and it's about 1.5 kilometers in width. So that's the same distance we walked from the car park down to the lake today. Wow. So bear that in mind when you're walking back out. Don't forget, from this wall, it goes to the back of the valley and around the corner for 23 kilometers in total. And above the surface, what we can see poking out of the water, that is about 30 meters tall on average. So that's a 10-story building rising up out of the lake. Wow. But the glacier does not float. It's not like the icebergs. It sits in the valley. The lake is simply a byproduct of the glacier retreating. So what that means is there's a lot more beneath the surface. And does anybody remember how deep the lake is up here?
200 meters?
Three, closer to 300, 270-ish. Yep. So the bottom of the glacier sits at the bottom of the valley 270 meters down, meaning that's about 300 meters worth of ice, top to bottom. It is ginormous. It's hard to comprehend just how big it is. So what happens? This is calving every few days, so it's retreating much faster. As a result, it's leaving behind the rest of the glacier underneath the surface. So there is a huge shelf that extends out into the lake. At its maximum, that reaches about 300 meters. So halfway between us and what we see. And that shelf is made of that beautiful blue ice that we saw on that roller. It's full of air bubbles and it wants to float. All ice is buoyant. So it's trying to lift. It tries to lift and eventually it snaps. And it erupts out of the lake. If you've ever held a ball beneath the surface in the swimming pool, you let it go, up it comes. So we're talking pieces of ice 5-6 times the size of your house, bigger than the hotel. They will erupt without warning. The only indication we get that something's gonna go is a few bubbles on the surface. Next thing you know, 60% of an iceberg rises up out of the lake. Something keeps bringing me back, and it's just the beauty of everything here. So hopefully that comes across. And hopefully you love it just as much as I do. We're good, everyone. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming out with us this morning. Like I said, conditions don't get much better. So hopefully you've got some great photos, maybe learned a thing or two. But most importantly, I hope you had some fun.
Learned
out
so
there.
much.
Thank you,
Kim.
Welcome. Any final questions?
You're awesome.
I'll take it.
That was amazing.
Oh, so
Highly, highly recommend. Worth every dollar. hey, Lord of the Rings 안 봤잖아. Can confirm. Truly unforgettable.
No swimming.
Lunch with a view. We're back at the Hermitage Hotel, got a coffee, going to eat Helen's sandwich. If you're coming to Mount Cove, book a valley trek, yes, very, very important. But if you have time and you want to do something a little bit different kind of activity, I highly recommend doing the Glacier Explorer. The staff are very knowledgeable and they explain the whole thing. It's not something that you just ride for like 30 minutes. It's like whole nearly 2 hours, maybe? Yeah. Well worth it. Wow. What's in it, Helen?
prosciutto, salami, tomato, apple, apricot jam, tomatoes.
Free cheese?
Free cheese.
After lunch, we head back to Queenstown, 3 hours and 40 minutes drive. It's gonna be a long one, but we should be back at Queenstown by, I guess, 5 p.m.-ish. Something like that. See that? Just arrived at Queenstown. That was a tough 3-hour drive, but we made it. Instead of going straight to the Airbnb, we're going to grab some dinner here. Try to find what we're gonna eat. I am very, very tired. That was some drive. Got a chocolate eclair. This is the main street. Completely clear sky. There's so many stars. We are hiking or eating?
Having a little picnic.
Perfect. Ooh! Alright, this is where I'll be going for a swim. Hey everyone, we're at Bob's Cove. The lake you see here is Lake Wakatipu, the same lake you can see from Aoraki and also from Queenstown as well. We're gonna go for a swim because when I was planning New Zealand, when I saw all the beautiful colors of different lakes, I always wanted to go for a quick dip / swim. I don't know how many episodes we will have for this New Zealand trip, and I don't even know how it's gonna turn out. You know, there are billions of videos out there and also probably like millions or billions of channels. Thanks for watching mine and subscribing as well, and hopefully I'll be able to share more in the coming days, weeks, months and years. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, it's cold.